Hi, hello, how are you? Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about the debut full-length studio album from Scene Queen entitled Hot Singles in Your Area.
Oh, come on, Mr. Meltdown, you gotta be pulling our legs. This ain't even close to real metal. This is a bunch of mainstream TikTok pussy poser garbage made for girls and gays. You're not seriously going to review this, are you?
Yes, I am, Thrashin' Jackson, and if you don't like it, tough tits. I don't care. Cry me a river. Scene Queen has only been around for a couple of years now, but she's made a name for herself within a short amount of time by playing something that she calls bimbo-core. A genre which, as Teddy Webb from TV Obsessive describes, blends the reclaimed hyper-feminine aesthetics and vocal distortions of genres like hyperpop with metalcore-inspired breakdowns. Lots of aggravated, noisy, screaming vocals contrasted with flashy, spunky, poppy, sexy hooks and melodies. Hard-hitting, thumping, electronic hip-hop, beats and rhythms and progressions, post-hardcore, metalcore style, breakdowns and riffs and grooves. Like, imagine if Kesha was the lead singer of like a Hot Topic, Warped Tour, early 2010s style metalcore band and you're kind of in the right ballpark, kind of, sort of. Visually, too, there's a lot of influence pulled from Y2K fashion, from Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, a lot of hot pink, a lot of bimbo-style fashion, as some would call it. And lyrically and thematically, Scene Queen's music is a little all over the place, but for the most part is vulgar, crass, very tongue-in-cheek, sexually charged. Put very simply, this is not something that the Thrashin' Jacksons of the metal world are going to really enjoy all that much. If you consider yourself a true metal elitist, a true metal gatekeeper, then maybe it's in your best interest to not listen to this and also stop watching this video and, like, go outside, like, go do something else. I mean, I won't tell you what to do, but, like, if I were in your position, that's what I would do. Just saying, straight up, do with that information whatever the fuck you wish. I don't actually care. As far as I'm concerned, I think that there's an equal amount of fun and cringe to be had and heard on this album. There's a lot that I think is really interesting about it, and a lot that I think is also just kind of annoying and corny about it. Hot Singles in Your Area, warts and all, has a lot of energy and momentum from start to finish. The Scene Queen herself, real name Hannah Rose Collins, is an incredibly charismatic person and performer. She's fierce and in-your-face and unapologetic, especially on cuts like 18+ and Pink Push-Up Bra, which deal directly with sexual assault and sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, predatory behavior amongst young men, and specifically within like the metalcore, post-hardcore, alternative music scenes. These songs are genuinely really angry with shouted vocals and pounding rhythms and beats and some grittier, almost kind of nu metal-esque grooves and riffs. And on the flip side, she's very confident and honest, especially about her sexual needs and desires and such, especially on cuts like Peg and Amateur. The former of which kind of feels like a mishmash of like mid-2000s Justin Timberlake and Nelly Furtado songs like Sexy Back and Promiscuous, and like In This Moment. Whereas the latter builds on a foundation of noisy, grimy, slow-moving bass lines and hand claps, and is also about literally how to give head. Literally. And honestly, it's also kind of fun to see Scene Queen legitimately get kind of mean and sassy. It's fun to see her throw some shade and shit on cuts like BDSM and mutual masturbation. Unfortunately, though, the Scene Queen character and persona can only do so much. It does a lot, but it can only do so much. You still need great songs. And while most of the songs I've mentioned thus far are pretty strong, others, not so much. Stuck featuring Barely Human, for instance, reminds me of like Tumblr, millennial, rave, electropop music in the worst way possible. Think Jeffree Star, Blood on the Dance Floor, and you're kind of in the right ballpark. Then there's Whips and Chains, a genuinely really weak and corny attempt at like an edgy, racy kind of like rap rock song with a moody chorus. Then there's the title track, Hot Singles in Your Area, which is just a clumsy, incohesive mess jumping back and forth between these, like, adult contemporary R&B, 90s pop rock kind of acoustic-driven sections, and, like, these towering walls of overblown metalcore riffage and more edgy rap rock. But the worst of the bunch, if not the most obnoxious and cringeworthy, would be MILF, which combines raunchy, sleazy, country music, over the top to an almost comical degree, might I add, with hard-hitting, slamming, grinding, churning metalcore and hardcore. To be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with these two things individually, and I'm totally game to hear country and metal fuse together. Many bands have done it. Many bands have succeeded in doing it. I'm not down with this specifically, though. These elements here, stewed together in this way, I'm not digging it. I'm not liking it. I'm sorry, this ain't it. Like, the transitions from hardcore to country are just so poorly done, so jarring. And frankly, I can't help but shake the feeling that this song exists solely to just trigger conservative-leaning rock and metal listeners and people who are offended by vulgarity in music. You know, the same type of people who were whining and bitching and moaning about Cardi B and Wet Ass Pussy a couple of years ago, you know, the Ben Shapiro types of the world. In this album's best moments, I could picture myself giving this an enthusiastic 3 out of 5 or even a 3.5 out of 5. But in its absolute worst moments, I could picture myself giving this a 1.5 out of 5. So what I think we're going to do today is we're going to do some math, split the difference, and we're going to go with a 2.5 out of 5, straight down the middle, flat 2.5 out of 5. And that's it. That's where it's going to lie. That's where this album is going to live, score-wise, in the 2.5 out of 5 dimension. Scene Queen has a lot of personality and a lot of character, and it shows all the way through, and it often paves the way for some of the best material on the album, for some genuinely gnarly, provocative, sexy bops. But I think the desire to be so weird and edgy and different has just kind of crippled the album, and we end up with a bunch of songs that are lame and messy and all over the place. Warts and all, I am happy that I gave this album a shot. I would still argue that Scene Queen is one of the more honest and authentic and interesting voices within, like, mainstream alternative and metal music today, and I would genuinely look forward to maybe hearing more from her in the future. There's a lot of room to continue growing and developing her sound and style. There's a lot of people that are going to love this record and a lot of people that are not going to love this record, and more power to all of these people. But me personally, I'm just somewhere in the middle, you know? There's a lot of stuff I like, a lot of stuff I dislike, a lot of stuff I appreciate, a lot of other stuff that just kind of annoys me and that I find kind of corny and dumb. 2.5 out of 5, I would honestly still recommend it just because it is so unique, especially if you're a younger, more open-minded listener. But yeah, it's okay. I'm running out of things to say, so that means this is a good time to start wrapping things up officially. Yeah. Cool. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown immediately. Look, there's more videos here. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.